Hey guys, welcome back to the movie summary. Beginning of the movie, we see a person named Wally. Wally and his best friend Cassie are sitting in a restaurant talking. Then Cassie tells I wants to give birth to a child without getting married. For that I need a sperm donor. And I need your help to find a sperm donor. Wally also says okay to that. Later they both go home by train. Then Wally says I will give you my sperm. Cassie heard this and said we are best friends. So, I don't want to take your sperm. One day Cassie meets her friend Debbie. As it is Debbie's birthday, she invites Cassie to her party. Cassie and Wally go to the party together. When Wally sees Cassie enjoying the party, she is talking to a man named Declan. Then Wally comes to Cassie and takes her to a room saying I have to talk to you personally. There he says whoever you are talking he already married. Cassie then tells him that he is now divorced. Both of them have a fight over the same issue. Cassie wants to extract sperm from Declan. Wally doesn't agree and says he's already married. She doesn't listen to what he says. So, he locks Cassie in the room and goes to Declan. And tells him that Cassie went to another hotel. You will also be invited to that hotel. Saying that, he sends Declan from there. Later, while they are both going home, Cassie gets into an argument with Wally asking why you did this. Moreover, she says that I don't want friendship with you and leaves from there. A few days pass like that. One day Wally gets an invitation to a pregnant party, and that invitation came from Cassie. On that day Cassie will have to inject the donor's sperm. Wally goes to the party. Cassie's friend Debbie and Wally are talking. Debbie gives Wally a drug. Later Wally meets a man named Roland. Roland, Cassie's sperm donor. While they are talking, Wally learns that Roland is also married. After they talk Wally goes to Cassie. There they talk for a while. Wally then goes to the bathroom. Due to the drugs given by Debbie, Wally gets very intoxicated and loses his control. Wally accidentally drops the Roland sperm there. Wally doesn't know what to do and fills his sperm in the small can. Next day Wally goes to his office. There he is talking to a friend named Leonard. Actually, because of the drugs, Wally only remembers going to the party yesterday, but does not remember what happened in the party. One day Wally and Cassie go to see a movie. There Cassie tells Wally that she is pregnant. Also, I want to raise my child in my hometown. I am going to my village for that. The movie then moves forward a few years. One day Wally is going out when he gets a voice message from Cassie. In that message Cassie says my son Sebastian grew up. I am coming back to New York about his studies. A few days later, Cassie arrives in New York and meets Wally. Then all three of them go to a restaurant. There, Sebastian makes sounds like Wally while eating food. Wally is surprised to see this. Next day Cassie meets Roland. Roland tells Cassie that he is divorced. On the other hand, Wally and Sebastian go to the zoo and enjoy themselves. While returning home a lady says your son looks like you. Then Wally says the kid is not my son. One day Cassie, Wally and Sebastian go out. Then Wally calls his friend Leonard and says Sebastian is like me. His behavior habits are similar to mine. Hearing this, Leonard tells Wally to come home. Wally and Leonard are talking after going home. Then Wally remembers the scene where he put his sperm in the box on the day of the party. Wally goes to tell Cassie the same thing. Meanwhile, Cassie says I am dating Roland. Hearing this, Wally can't tell Cassie about the sperm change. Wally likes Cassie a lot, but never tells Cassie about it. Next day, Wally, Cassie, Roland and Sebastian go to an adventure camp. There too, Wally tries to tell Cassie about the sperm change, but is unable to. After the camp, Roland offers drinks to Wally. Later they both drink and talk. The next day Wally tells with Leonard, I can't tell Cassie the truth. Even if I tell her, she will leave me. Then Leonard says don't worry, everything will be fine. One day when Wally was in the office, Cassie called and says I came to my hometown with Roland. Sebastian is right there with a relative in New York. He didn't want to be there. So, you go and keep Sebastian with you. Wally also says okay to that. Wally then goes and takes Sebastian to his house. And he takes good care of him. They both become good friends. One day Cassie returns from the village. Wally asked Cassie, Does your family like Roland? Then Cassie says yes, they like him. And I also have an engagement with Roland in a few days. Wally hears this and tells her not to marry Roland. Cassie says I will marry him. Wally says no and Cassie says yes, and they fight. A few days pass like that, and one day Sebastian comes to Wally's house after having a fight with a boy. Wally then gives first aid to Sebastian and takes him to Cassie. Cassie and Roland's engagement takes place there. Seeing that, Wally couldn't stand it and told the truth in front of everyone. That Roland's sperm fell down from the can, I put my sperm in it, and Sebastian is my son. He also proposes to Cassie there. Hearing this, Cassie angrily hits Wally and tells him not to show his face again. A few months pass like that. One day Cassie meets Wally on his way home from the office. She also apologizes for hitting him and says you can stay with us from now on. Then Wally says let's get married. Cassie also says okay to that. A few days later Cassie and Wally get married. Sebastian's birthday also comes. Everyone celebrates the birthday happily. This is how this movie ends.